Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video where today we are taking a break from all of our custom sets and Hyrule Castle shenanigans to talk about a topic that isn't new to the channel. Today we're going over my wishes and sort of dream sets from the LEGO group. This is something we did about 2 years ago and I wouldn't have remade it so soon if it wasn't for me doing quite well with my wishes. Now for those of you who have watched the previous video you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but don't worry, today we're going to go through all the things that I wish the LEGO group would make along with all of the things over the last couple of years which I've actually wished for and had come true. So hopefully that's nice and clear. Of course, feel free to leave your guys most wanted sets from the group as well as favourite sets of all time down below and I will be sure to read them. I'm looking forward to it. And let's jump straight in with my first big win, I guess, which was the Hogwarts Courtyard and Viaduct Bridge. Now in the last video I had mentioned that this was sort of an area of Hogwarts that we hadn't particularly seen done very well outside of the 2011 version, which didn't really focus on the actual bridge's architecture, and I think that this particular battle with the chess pieces as well as the trolls in the courtyard with like the Quidditch hoops and stuff, it is particularly iconic to the last movie. It's also a really unique area that I would have loved to have seen in Lego form, and as a summer 2023 I believe, or 2023 we got my wish, and not only did it cover the courtyard but it also covered the bridges as a 2-in-1. Now I'm counting this as a win because it's going to be at least another 4 years before we see a set like this. However, if I'm being honest, it didn't quite do the scene justice. I would have preferred to have a complete setup of the bridge and the courtyard, which I imagine we may end up seeing in this new build your own most detailed Hogwarts ever whenever that gets around to it. So excited for the prospect of actually truly having the bridge, but we will see if that ever materializes in the form that I want. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with this set. Had some fantastic figures, a really great Voldemort variant, great Bellatrix, and those spell pieces were a really nice surprise inclusion. I do find the interior a little bit lacking, but it more than makes up for it with that fantastic like destruction rubble feature and like the rebuildability. I'm so glad that we did finally cover it. I was really shocked and then surprised to see that join the 23 lineup. But let's move on. I actually did another access with Harry Potter a couple of years back. In 2011 there was a Hogwarts Express that I missed out on. It was one of the few sets from that wave that I'd really wanted because cool train, right? And then when they redid it in 2018, all of those fears washed away because this model was superior, still one of the best. It was on shelf for ages and then they only just remade it. But the 2018 Hogwarts Express was another long-awaited wish of mine that they'd go back to Harry Potter and remake that train, and that was one of the earlier cases of my LEGO dreams coming true. Let's move away from Harry Potter now into another license, and this license is Jurassic Park. Now this one's a bit of an obscure one, but I would personally have loved to have seen a representation of Mr. DNA in minifigure form or in big character form from the original movie. He's pretty iconic. He was a key part of the video game's marketing. However, this is definitely more of a loose end wish. In fact, more so related to Jurassic Park. Let's lead with a DNA strand. I would love to see them expand into more sciencey stuff. We've had the Women at NASA and the Women in Science one. As well as other things like I count the insect collection. It's pretty detailed, pretty much focused on an interest in entomology, but I would love to see a double helix DNA. I think that would be pretty cool. Alongside that, other ideas. There was a good ideas project a while back with sea animals in a jar. I think that was a lot of fun. So just more stuff like that, exploring our scientific world. The Orrery this year is a great step in that direction. I will definitely be picking up that before it retires. I mentioned Jurassic World there. Let's talk about a couple of wins quickly. The 2020 Indominus Rex versus Ankylosaur. When playing a video game back in 2015, this was a set I really hoped they'd make, partially because of my love of the Fairground collection, so that we could actually get like the Gyrosphere launching station and like a proper ride set for it, but also just another Indominus because I never got that one in the 2015 set, and the new colouring, contrary to what some people think, I think is a lot better. Now this set is obviously pretty overpriced, but with an Ankylosaur, the Indominus, and all these other aspects, I really love what it actually achieves, and when I looked at it, it was basically a dream set coming true, and I was very shocked that I let this set retire without picking up, because it's definitely going up on the aftermarket. I'm going to have to get on that, lest it start being £200 before too long. I also won recently Jurassic World in the Jeeps, again from video games and watching the movies in my childhood. It was very clear that I wanted the Ford Explorer made into a set, which of course happened in T-Rex Breakout in 2021, making me very excited. And then in the 30th anniversary wave just last year, we also got the other car. I don't remember its name. Is it the Jeep? The Jeep, I think it is, with a cover where they see the Brachiosaur, and that was pretty awesome. I'm very much looking forward to that Stegosaurus this summer. That is a dinosaur we've wanted for a very long time. But back to some more things that I'm actually looking for. We've had our buildable droid line in Star Wars for many years now. I've enjoyed ones like the Probe Droid and the Porg. I know that's not a droid. And the upcoming Droideka looks fantastic. It is only a matter of time before they give us a standalone Gonk droid, so I would very much like a big standalone Gonk droid for my collection. Yes, I know there was the one in Boost Droid Commander in 2020-2021. I don't care. I would like a standalone one, and I would 100% buy that. I'd also like, as far as IPs go, House Train Dragon would be a lot of fun. I could see that being interesting with the live action movie coming up. I know obviously that's divided people, but just as a nice tie-in, LEGO's been working with Universal and with Illumination, so I don't see why DreamWorks couldn't be brought in on the fun. And I think a Toothless set would sell like hotcakes. It doesn't have to be many sets, just like 1 or 2 would be nice. As far as LEGO's own in-house, I think Blacktron would be a lot of fun. We had that GWP back last year, and that was amazing. I love Blacktron 1. I love the remastered Blacktron figure in 2019's CMF Series 19. That's a fantastic figure. I don't care for Blacktron 2, so I'm not a huge fan of the mutated Blacktron in the Space CMF, but I was really excited about that rumour of the Blacktron 1 spaceship, which then turned out to be like the Will.i.am set, but like, no, the Pharrell Williams set. Wrong person. They both had figures over the time though, right? Yeah. Anyway, more Blacktron 1. I love the colour scheme. I love the faction. Just more remaster Missile Command Base or any of the other sets, please. It would be amazing. And then as far as other IPs go, I think Star Trek could be a lot of fun. I know this is a highly requested one. I don't even really know what they do for it. Maybe just a one-off set for the Enterprise, but we still got away from Mega, and that would be really cool to get the Enterprise or Voyager. That would be awesome, actually. I would love that. I think Star Trek would be a great IP for them to have. It's so different to Star Wars. Not so sure about Stargate. Stargate's a lot of fun, but I don't know if it would suit the LEGO brand just as well. But an idea set could be fun again. But I think Star Trek has enough of a following that it could be popular. Another success I had was the 2019 Gingerbread House. This was something I'd wanted since the miniature GWP in 2015, and seeing this wonderful ideas project that hopefully is on your screen if I'm doing my job. And I really love how this model was achieved by the designer. But beyond that, I just think Gingerbread House is cool. The Series 11 Gingerbread Man is my favourite figure of all time. So getting literally his parents, or what I assume to be his parents in my headcanon, in the 2019 Gingerbreads, and then for it to be beautifully designed and an official Winter Village set was a dream come true. Favourite Winter Village set of all time, one of my top 10 sets just ever. I really love how it came out. Awesome set. Okay, let's move away from that kind of stuff into some more wants. This stuff's going to be a little bit more abstract for a little bit. I have a log flume, Fairground collection, something I've been following for a really long time, since the beginning. I have all of them apart from the loop coaster at the moment, and I would like to see a log flume at some point. I think it's one of the huge ride types that we just haven't covered, and it would be a real technical challenge. Could have some really fun theming, like this one I designed that was all based off fairy tales, and I think would be a lot of fun. So I would love to see a log flume get tackled at some point in the Fairground collection, because it really would be an impressive challenge for them. Similarly, I've been talking about this for a while as well, but roller coasters have been generically themed so far, so I'd like some themed roller coasters in the kind of vibe of the haunted house. So maybe like a western one, like Big Thunder or something, or just any real theming for our roller coasters, like what Creator does, but just making the big Fairground collection ones like a themed ride rather than a generic ride, because up until now they've been very basic Fairground, and it's kind of clear that we've reached the end of that portion. So I think more stuff like the haunted house that references classic LEGO themes could be a lot of fun. Next up, I also, related to theme parks, want to talk about theme park entrance. There's a small 30 to 40 set that can come under City or Creator in my eyes, but I would just like to have like the ticket booth and maybe like a gift shop set. I know that it was part of that big £100 Legoland exclusive Fairground set, but that doesn't count to me. I'm kind of just hoping for a more traditional Fairground entrance, like with the turnstiles, maybe more of a square roof, sleek design, trees on top, or something like the front of Disney, maybe some tents even if you want to make it more like a circus. But I would just like to have an official ticket gate entrance to go with all these Fairground collection rides. It could even be a gift with purchase with the next Fairground collection, which I'm sure will launch next year, 2025 maybe. And also on the topic of theme parks, you guys know I am an enjoyer of the classic Disney park rides, and I've got a couple of things here. I'd like to see Spaceship Earth. I don't know how they would do it, but there's this really cool picture of it at night, and we've got the pyramidal piece now, so I think it would be particularly cool to have Spaceship Earth as a large sphere or microsphere, whatever you want to do. Speaking of, we just need more Disney icon rides. Of course, we started this trend really strongly with the Disney train back in 2019, and then we kind of just let things slip. I would like to see rides such as Big Thunder, Haunted Mansion, and It's a Small World get the treatment, and if not that, the microscale treatment, just like what happened with Disney Castle Haunted Mansion at Agrabah and Ariel's Palace over the last couple of years. I don't know why that trended away from park rides, but please, I beg of you, give me the Small World Clock Tower. Epic Mickey's getting a remaster on Switch. We have Oswald and Mickey. I just need that clock tower. I beg of you. But we'll leave that there for now. Next up, from going completely a different way, I'd like to see the remastering of the Master Builder Series set. Now, a proud owner of the Mos Eisley Cantina Master Builder Series set. I don't have Endor or Ewok Village, which I don't really count, but I'm going to count it for today. The Hoth or the Bespin ones have incredible aftermarket prices. They're really desired, even though people hate the Hoth one. So I would like to see new ones. Specifically, I think the Endor bunker with like ATST and all of that, like trees and things, and maybe a small Ewok outpost could be a lot of fun. So I think Endor Master Builder Series is incredibly overdue. I think you could make something nice out of Geonosis as well. That could be a lot of fun. If I had to think of other ones, oh, I know we've been put on the spot. They wouldn't go near Canterbite because of it's a gambling planet. But there's definitely some other ones that I could see fun. But the big one for me is I'd like to see more Bespin sets. They don't have the Master Builder Series, but I'm so sad that one's so expensive. I really regret not picking it up, although I just didn't have the funds at the time. So I would love for them to make a remaster. It's a little bit cheeky. The Bespin set, or just make more cheaper Bespin sets that I can buy. But specifically, it's been so long since we've had an Echo Base. I don't see a problem if we remaster the Master Builder Series Echo Base and just release it again. Yes, it was hated, so bring it back, redeem yourselves, and also give us a new Echo Base, because it's been, nearly a decade. It's been 8 years since that UCS set, and it was just an amazing set. People hated on that thing for having inaccuracies, but as a play set, it was incredible. With the Wampa and the Tauntaun in there, all of these side builds, these amazing turrets that look great, the gate. Oh, I so wish I could pick up that set, but it's a shame. I think there's definitely a market for it. On to other IPs, I wouldn't have put this one on here until recently when I saw the Ideas Project, but the cult classic Jim Henson movie Labyrinth definitely deserves an Ideas pick. It's right in that 80s, 90s nostalgia. We've got Bao, he is the Goblin King, and I would love to see my precious little guy, the blue worm from Labyrinth, make his way into Lego form as an amazing figure, especially given all of the quirky design choices from that movie. The Escher Maze Ideas Project that got to 10k and was rejected just last year ago just made me realise how much I actually would have loved if that had made it past. If Hocus Pocus can do it, I think Labyrinth can do it, and we've had Muppets and stuff, so I would love to see Labyrinth get the treatment, maybe if the movie ever gets re-released or something. Next up, I have a weird one. This is 2014 to 2016 is the rough time period we're talking about. There was a whole range of IP and in-house sets that LEGO has just never touched again. Specifically, my big ones here are Rogue One, Age of Ultron, and the Minecraft End Portal. All had sets in the 2014 to 2016 window. It's been 10 years in themes that generally repeat sets, less than that, and none of them have been revisited. What I mean by this is Harry Potter has been repeating sets from 2018, so every 5 years they repeat sets. Star Wars repeats sets whenever they feel like it, whether that be an X-Wing every 2 or 3 years, or a Millennium Falcon every 5. My big point is here that nothing from the movie Rogue One, of which had fantastic wave of sets and great original trilogy content, has not been re-released in any form outside of the one Andor set, which doesn't really count, meaning those figures and those builds are exclusive. We've never seen anything from Scarif, The Return of Shore Troopers, and it's definitely still in public conscious, and it's one of the more accepted Disney movies from the catalogue. Similarly with Age of Ultron, I know it's not people's favourite Avengers movie, but we just had Ultron Mark 1 in the Avengers Tower, but between that and the Iron Legion battle pack that's supposed to come this summer, we have never seen Prime Ultron or any of the Ultron sentries to go with him in 10 years. And originally it was rumoured that there was going to be a battle pack. I know that rumour turned out to be false, and this is why we don't false, and that's why we don't trust leaks. But where are they? Come on, let's get some more Ultron sentries out here. They'd look amazing. We've just had Chitauri for the last decade, and we're coming up on 10 years of the movie, so I would very much like to see them. It's just weird to me. There's been 10 years in themes that repeat and repeat and repeat ideas, and we haven't seen anything from these movies, as if it's some sort of period of shame. Same with the End Portal. It's a core tenet of Minecraft's gameplay loop, and I know obviously Minecraft is about more than story, but it is shocking to me that we've only had one stronghold set. Like, I get only having one jungle temple, and I get having only one ocean monument, even though we technically had two because the Guardians have appeared in 2 sets, just not the actual build. Where is, where's the End Portal? I'm shocked. I'm hoping we see it again soon, because that Stronghold set's great, and I'd love to see another one. Also, for in-house IPs, 2016's Nexo Knights, we've not seen anything like that since Hidden Side came close, but the creature design in Nexo Knights was unparalleled. First 2 waves were amazing. I love the lava monsters and the rock monsters, and so does the community, judging by their prices off Bricklink. We're going to move over back to IP again now. Video games. Pikmin, it's unlikely. I accept that it will never happen, and if it happens, it will never be playsets. But really, all I'm asking here is an Olimar figure, but more so just official build for the Pikmin. Even if these are included as an Easter egg in a Mario D2C, I don't care. Just show me what you would do for Pikmin, and then I will go and build my army. I just want to know what the official LEGO build would. Now, I saw a fantastic one the other day, using the Dreams body and then a minifigure head to create Pikmin, and then like with a stud on top. That's fantastic. If they recolor the Dreams bodies into more colors that like our Pikmin colors that aren't white at the moment, which is the only one coming in that like alien set this month, I will definitely buy some of those bodies, and I will have some tinkering. But my point is, I don't want a Pikmin IP. I want maybe like a one set based off the Dolphin, or for Olimar and the Pikmin to appear in a CMF or as an Easter egg in a Mario set. Just an official build to give the I'm not underperforming, but the very niche Nintendo franchise some love, because I can do all the other animal builds myself. It's just the Pikmin that need a mold, or a Lego style build, whether it be stacking studs, microfigures, whatever. Just give me what you would do and I will do it myself. But I would love to see Pikmin come in one day. Of course I would. Second favourite Nintendo franchise. Yeah, that's right, Mario, you're third. Okay, next up we have the Adventurers reboot. This is one I never stop going on about. I love Adventurers and I love Orient Expedition, and I would love for them to come back in a modern exploration LEGO IP. We don't have enough in-house IP themes these days. Dreams has been killing it. So has Ninjago and Monkey Kid, although Ninjago's in a bit of a lull era, I feel, at the moment. But I would love to see the adventuring side, the medieval side, and like the fantasy side came back. And for a while then we thought Ninjago was going to cover us with Master of the Mountain. And Indiana Jones is definitely not sticking around. So come on, let's give us an Adventurers reboot using all those wonderful new colours, and make it more about the exploration side. There's been some amazing mocks that people have done, and there's so much that you can explore across all of world history to give everyone and everyone's background a wonderful shine. What makes this even more enticing to me is that while I drew updated members of the Orient Expedition cast for my police station modular conversion back in 2021, and then I re-released that video last year, is now we actually have remastered versions of the main cast, which is awesome. We had the 2019 Series 19 Johnny Thunder CMF. We just had Gale Storm, or Pippin Reader, whichever one you want to call her, appear in the Orient Express set. I managed to pick that one up in 2023. And then we just, and I mean just, in the new Natural History Museum modular, had Charles Lightning, or Professor Kilroy, appear as his older curator form, which is just a dream come true to have all three of these guys in their modern outfits. I've been going back and collecting some of the Orient Expedition sets where I can, Tigera's Roar and the Temple on Mount Everest, and I'm very, very happy with them. So I would love a remaster of existing sets, or a complete thematic reboot, or to be honest, just anything in the 20s aesthetic similar to the Orient Expedition and the Orient Express, even, where these are set. Just like a new IP would be great. In fact, let's book that one in here. A new IP that's adventure based. I would like it to be adventurous, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like more detective based, spy based, just something that doesn't fall under like war or high fantasy. I love high fantasy, right? You guys know Lord of the Rings, favourite movies of all time, but I love one of those more grounded LEGO themes. He says, talking about power miners, Nexo Knights and Adventurers in the same breath, but something where it's about exploration, globe trotting or something, like world races, just anything like that would be so cool to see again. It's been so long, and you can't tell me that kids have lost their spirit of adventure altogether. If you want to do an Adventurers reboot, I actually have a couple of ideas for you. I have three. I think an adventurous sub-theme where we go to islands in the Pacific looking for a long-lost paradise island fits the vibe halfway between Ninjago Island and the Dino Island sub-theme, so I would really like that. I think a treasure hunt for across the Pacific with pirates and shipwrecks and like beautiful tropical islands and poisonous snakes and stuff could be a lot of fun. I think my second pick is the most out there. We've done Dino Island, so they're not afraid to go in crazy places with it. I think an adventurous theme in like a more arid region where we are digging up ancient alien technology, not UFO style. We're not doing Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Something more in line with like the steampunky Stargate tech, but also just grounded, and it's more so about leading it to like a Rosetta Stone for translating an alien language, and it just so happened that their material is shiny gems or something along the way. But I think the idea of like digging up this like steampunky spaceship would be pretty cool, and not too out there for adventurous. I don't want to repeat Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. People hate the fact that aliens in that. You'd never actually meet the aliens, but I do like the idea of digging up this tech, this like tech that no one can explain, and that being a fun adventurous mission. And then the one I fleshed out the most is actually Adventurers End of the Golden Age. It's sort of as we come to that end of like the 20s period in America, we hit the Great Depression, and Johnny Thunder is reaching the end of his career, and we send him on a treasure hunt, very similar to, I guess, National Treasure, kind of like Grail Knights kind of things, but obviously without mentioning Crusades because we don't want to go there. But descendant of a king had a treasure which he split between his 8 children. One of them betrayed each other. You have to collect 8 jeweled swords to unlock the map to this final treasure, which happens to have been buried in like the construction site of like the Empire State Building or like growing suburbia New York, so hitting those 20 vibes perfectly. And you've got this globe-trotting adventure where we go to like dig sites to find the swords, and they're all over the world where the descendants of these people ended up with their treasures, all culminating in like a battle, in like, well, not a battle, but like a hunt for the treasure, and against your villain, in like the growing, sprawling like construction site of New York City in the 20s. Has such a good vibe to it. Anyway, those are my loose ideas for adventurers. Let's get back on track here because I've rambled for like 7 minutes about adventurers now. Flying Dutchman. Yep. Bring back Pirates Caribbean for one-off set. Give me a Davy Jones minifigure that's better than the 2011 one, so I don't have to buy it. And then also give me just the coolest ship from that franchise in the Flying Dutchman. Maybe include a couple of Kraken tentacles, put it on a display base and call it a 10-year anniversary piece or 20-year anniversary piece. Oh, it's going to be 25 anniversary. We're already past 20 years for Curse of the Black Pearl. That's crazy. But Flying Dutchman, it's the one boat we never got. We should have got it. It's the coolest looking, has the most interior details, and the most fun potential for figures. Why? Next up, remastering modulars. I am not saying this out of pettiness, I'm saying this out of necessity. The first 3 modulars, so this is Cafe Corner, Green Grocer and Market Street, are out of scale. Now, you may go, Octane, why? They are in the same scale, they have the same pinholes, the same doors and everything. Yes, they fit figures. 1, they don't have interiors, so it would be a great opportunity to bring them up to scale. 2, it would be an opportunity to use modern pieces to improve the exterior design and just sort of refine it, sort of like adding an extra high definition. And 3, there is some weird scaling going on because the floors feel massive in comparison to each other. If you look at the bay window on the greengrocer and tell me that that would look good next to Assembly Square, I think you need to reevaluate it because I'm not so sure. Anyway, they have huge aftermarket prices. I think it would do great to bring them down, give them an opportunity to be available for other people while still playing nostalgia to the first 3 and not ruining the collectability of the originals because they wouldn't be complete repeats. We'd have interiors, we'd redo the fidelity on the fronts to make them more ornate and bring them in line with the hyper-detailed and slightly smaller floors of the newer modulars because it just looks massive. I don't know what it is, they just look massive. And also I'd love to own Greengrocer or any other Lego supermarket, which is the next thing to talk about on my list. Greengrocer doesn't really count, but what I'm being very picky here. This is not the City Grocery Store or the Friends Grocery Store that released the other day. I'm talking about a large model for produce. We had it in the Quickie Mart, but I don't want it to be themed with Simpson products. So I guess the Friends Grocery Stores come the closest because they actually have the products on the shelves. But imagine a set like the Quickie Mart, maybe modular, maybe just open back like the City one, that has a huge variety of Lego food elements, whether that be like eggs in cartons, ready meals, apples, baguettes, pies, everything, right? And then like little clips and builds to represent different things, stickers like the cereal boxes, like the cornflakes one from the Ninjago movie CMF, but also the Cheerios and Pixie Puffs from Harry Potter, make up some new brands. And yeah, just give me a supermarket that isn't themed and isn't as bad as the City one. Next up, Lego Store Modular. We have this in the Bricklink Designer program, but I would like a proper one, please. 20 years of modular, that's my pick. Lego Store. Although the modern architecture of a Lego store is sort of trending away from what makes a modular. So, Toy Store with Lego in it? That could work, like a new department store. That could be fun. Okay, but we'll move on from that one. I don't really have a fixed idea. Penultimate one for me is Lego Lord of the Rings as a reboot. This one came true, 2023. This was one of my dream come trues, one of 3 dream come trues that happened last year that I was just taken aback by. And really what I'm talking about here is I've got a couple of specific playsets, I guess, that I want to come back. Now, my theory is that obviously we had Rivendell, we had Barad-dûr. I'm pretty happy. I think Lord of the Rings is going to disappear for a year or so now because they're going to be panicking and developing an actual product line for it now. Maybe. But there's a couple of big ones I want to see. Of course, I would love to see remasters of some of the sets. Like a new Helm's Deep would be fantastic. A new Minds of Moria would be great, although I don't really care about that one. But the missing stuff, Minas Tirith, the Fell Beast, which very well could be the promo for Barad-dûr, and then a Balrog, I think are the big three that we're missing. Obviously now that we're getting Barad-dûr was another huge one that it's going to be coming our way. More Ents would be welcome. You could do Edoras, but I wouldn't necessarily care. They even talked about the fact that they were considering doing a giant Hobbington before Rivendell, and I think I'd be down for that. I'd love to see like a giant displayable hillock with all the Hobbit holes on, or even a Master Builder series set could be fun. But yeah, bring back Lord of the Rings in every sense of the word. I'm almost satisfied. Just give me like a couple more things, specifically the Fell Beast and one figure that we're going to be talking about, and I'll be happy. I have a lot of the old sets, but I think for the general LEGO population, bring them back. They have a lot of fun with them. And the most wanted pick, this should be no surprise to anyone, is LEGO Zelda. It's obvious, isn't it? Now, I'm going to lay down the ground rules once again. Now, this is the second big dream come true that is going to be happening this year. Hopefully, we're getting that Deku Tree set, the 18 plus Deku Tree, in September. However, I want to lay down the ground rules. The Deku Tree is not strictly what I want. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm beyond over the moon. But realistically, I'm not taking LEGO Zelda off my wanted list until one of two things happen. Either we get playsets, proper playsets from the theme, covering the games. I'll take even just playsets based off tiers. I will, I promise. But playsets based off the Zelda franchise, just like how we've been getting Romero Line, it is the perfect match made in heaven, and you guys know because I've been doing it for 4 years and I have no style of solving. Or scenario number 2, if we never get playsets and they only continue to give us 18 plus sets, I will yield once I get a minifigure version of Skyward Sword Link. That's it. My two conditions. If you're only ever going to give us an 18 plus sets because Nintendo's going to be Nintendo and be really weird about it and decide that Zelda's prestige and kids don't want sets, even though we know they do. That's your two conditions. Either you have to give me playsets, or you have to give me a Skyward Sword Green Tunic Link. And I want it to be a Skyward Sword Green Tunic Link. Am I clear? Good. Hopefully LEGO's listening. Those are the two things, and then I will stop pestering about LEGO Zelda. But truly, it's perfect. Look into it if you haven't already. But you have, because Deku Tree. But I'm still over the moon that it's coming in any physical form, and I'm going to be getting a Breath of the Wild Link, Breath of the Wild Zelda, and Child Link from Ocarina of Time, and maybe even a Hestu and other stuff. We haven't seen it, obviously. Preliminary images can change a lot, as we saw with the Medieval Market Square. So I'm holding my hopes that we get some extra little goodies, and that they don't cut the Deku Babbers, because that's one of my most anticipated parts of that set. Right, let's have a quick look at some figures. Now, figures I've actually had a huge amount of luck with recently. So first up, in 2021 with the Elf Clubhouse, and then in 2022 with Santa's Sleigh, I got very lucky and got my moulded reindeer. We also had a CMF reindeer costume in Series 23. Both of these are fantastic. I've been wanting a reindeer character for as long as I can remember. I drew them out when I was like 6, so this is awesome to get, and it's a beautiful, beautiful moulded animal. It looks fantastic, and to get 4 of them on the sleigh is truly dream come true. Great animal. Brick suits was something I didn't keep up with, but I was really pleased to see them do more colours, even if it was on BAM. Previously, when we made this video, we only had red, blue, and green. Now we've had like teal, orange, purple, and all these other colours, and I haven't kept up with them, which is a shame because I usually like the multicoloured collectible characters like this, but just not having a LEGO store sort of hinders that. But I'm glad that they've kept doing more. Got a remastered Vision in the Avengers Tower. Haven't bought it yet, but I would very much like to get that Vision figure. I've been wanting a new one. Hopefully he comes in another set at some point. And Dragon People. Last time I did this, I talked about it as a win. The video dragons were just coming out, and I love that Blue Ice Dragon. It's a shame I was able to get him because Video Series 2 never actually released. But we've now had the Dragonborn with the green dragon head, and we've had the second Dragon CMF in Series 23 as well, from D&D. And D&D's been so good to us. A couple of years ago, I would have said we need more elf ears, specifically because obviously I want to make Hylians and stuff. But with this new D&D CMF and the set, and then also Rivendell last year, as well as Harry Potter's Goblin heads, we've got so many different elf ears now. It's fantastic. It's going to be really great for doing a purist Hylian soldier army whenever the time does come. Yeah, just great to have so many elf ears now, and particularly that D&D CMF. There is an Octane Sig figure now. I can't show you, but if you guys know, bottom left, I am going to be using that hairpiece when it comes in brown for me, and I love that face as well, so this might be the Octane Sig fig coming, I think, or at least part of it. I also had some big successes last year, and this is number 3 of my big 3 successes in 2023. All my dreams came true, and I got both a Sorcerer Mickey and an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in the same series. I mentioned it earlier, but Epic Mickey is getting a remaster on Switch, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm hoping they do a good job, but mostly I had always wanted Oswald figure. Looks amazing in physical physical form. I've given him his little remote, and I'm trying to get his Bunnykin children as well. But the original Mouse and Rabbit, and then Sorcerer Mickey means so much to so many people, and as well to me. And I was really, really glad to finally have him here. Both of them so deserved. I'm so shocked that we got Oswald in the end. I'm so glad they did it. I love him. He's great. Such a big part of growing up was the Epic Mickey games. So I cannot believe that they gave it to us as a figure, but I'm just beyond the moon that we did get one. So now on to the last 4 wishes for me for figures. First one's the long shot Junkbot. Bring back Junkbot again. I know he's appeared on the arcade machine in Jargo City Docks and also as a derusted form in Haunted House, but he's amazing. I would love him to become green and do like the eco mascot for LEGO. I think that could still work. Again, hit me up. But he looks great. I would love a new Junkbot with printing. That would be amazing. For those of you who don't know, he's from a Flash game called Junkbot. He goes... I'd like to see more classic monsters from the Universal lineup. Obviously, we've had most of these, like Man-Bat, not Man-Bat, that's DC, like a Vampire Bat, we've had Dracula, we've had the Swamp Thing and so on. But I'm thinking, take a little bit more of a fantasy inspiration. I'd love to see some more like orcish creatures. We had all of the flame monsters from Nexo which were just beautifully designed high fantasy movie monsters. Just more stuff like that to fill out my like spooky road, or my half spooky, half scary rogues gallery. I'd love them. It's great. More stuff like that, please. And then next up we have the Lord of the Rings minifigure that I'm particularly after, the Witch King. Now, I am crossing my fingers and my toes that the Witch King Rangmar is going to be in Barad-dûr or the promo. He is like the last remaining major member of the dark like forces of Sauron that we have not got. And I know technically we got him in his ghost form in the Hobbit sets, but I want that mask so badly. I love him. He's such a great design. I know that it looks at the moment like it's going to be Sauron and Mouth of Sauron. I'm holding out hope that that could be wrong. That he could be the Nazgul in that set, or that the promo is him on his Fell Beast. That is my dream come true. But I want this figure so badly, and if we don't get him for Barad-dûr, genuinely the only other way we could get him is on a Fell Beast set. So, Lord of the Rings, please give me this guy. I played as him all the time in the Lord of the Rings video game. He was one of my go-to characters, and he just looks so cool, and he gets one of the most powerful scenes. Well, it's Eowyn's scene, let's be real, but he is so good. I love him so much. And as I said, besides like Gothmog, which we're not getting a Gothmog figure, we need the Witch King. Osgiliath could be a fun set, by the way, as well. Penultimately, Spaceman. You guys know I've got almost every colour. Actually, I don't know if I ever talked about it on my channel. Well, I have almost all the colours of classic Spaceman apart from the grey one, and I've still got to get my hands on the green helmet, although I'll be doing that as soon as it becomes a reasonable price. So we're missing some colours, obviously. Now, there are 2 choices. I believe teal is my personal pick. I would love to see a teal Spaceman. I would also love to see the grey space helmet and grey air tanks become available so that I can actually complete that collection, because I deliberately have not gone and bought the grey Spaceman torso because I don't want to have the mismatching old grey air tanks and helmet. Also, they're expensive, so I would really love them to put the new helmet piece and air tanks in the light bluish grey colour so that I can finish that. Also, because they've been going through it, right? They did the green helmet like 10 years after Exoforce's set came out, so I don't believe it's beyond them. So Justin Ransden, get on that. I know it's been you that's been spearheading this. So teal, I believe, would be a great spot on the spectrum, or all of those people that love putting the Spaceman on the Everyone is Awesome base plate just so that they've got a cool way to display their Spaceman. We need the right light royal blue one, right? Let's complete the flag and just have like a complete base of Spaceman without having to change out the grey one. Although that would cause a problem with the grey one, wouldn't it? Because then the grey one wouldn't fit. But either way, I would love to see teal or light royal blue make its way into the Spaceman lineup. And then I pretty much convinced we have them all at that point, but still at least 1 or 2 more we can do for sure. And then lastly, of course, it goes without saying, Zelda figures. If we're making Zelda sets, we're getting Zelda figures, and I want Zelda figures. Specifically, again, this is from across the franchise. I want my Tingles, my Beedles, my different Link variants. I have drawn over 40 Link variants. I want them. Many of them. I'm not going to get all of them. I'm accepting that now. But my enemies, my Girihims, my Xanths, right? All the stuff that doesn't appear in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Ganondorf, obviously. The sages from Ocarina, the sages from Tears of the Kingdom. You know, all of this stuff. There's such a rich variety of characters. There are so many to choose from. And yeah, please make them as minifigures. Now I'm going to end this video slightly differently to some of the others, and I realise probably no one's watching me ramble on at this point, but a couple of last requests just in general for the company. Please slow down your set releases. I get that we want to target a wide range of different people all the time, but not everyone's buying your 18 plus sets, and it's making it really hard to keep up with what's coming out and remember all of these amazing products. So I think it would put less stress on your business, focus your sales more, and then give you more ideas so that you don't creatively run out sooner if we we just slow down the adult set release, as well as just shifting our portfolio back down to maybe 700 sets a year instead of nearly 1,000, and putting a renewed interest into smaller sets, which I feel, while they're still present, there's less of them and they seem to be less appealing these days. So can we go back to making pocket money sets for kids as well as all these adult sets, just so that we can keep championing the kids toy market before we become an adult exclusive? I'm becoming a little concerned with some aspects of quality control. Now, I'm not going to go at this like some people will, because I don't think it's as bad as some people will. Pieces of plastic will always be slightly different colours, I assume, right? I get it. It's a big deal for some people. Fine, go ahead. But the one that matters to me is the instruction quality, because not only has that been going downhill, but they've been making more and more mistakes with it, and specifically structural and spelling slip-ups. Now, I'm not talking about cardboard box here. I don't care about your gunship insignia being wrong on the box. But the big ones for me are misspelling the country names on the Orient Express. That should not have made it past either shareholder in that set. And that should have been fixed, as well as the sticker misprint as well, and the bending tracks. That's a little bit of a disaster. And the structural flaws with the Hulkbuster. That giant mech being so expensive and then not being structurally sound and then not looking anything like the model is one step too far. If it's not going to look like the actual thing's supposed to, it has to at least be structurally sound. That should have been given an extra round of passes as well. I'm also, I don't know if I want to put, I'm not saying it's a blame thing, I'm noticing a change in design standards, and I don't know whether this is new designers coming through or just more options open up, but can we please just make sure that we're sticking true to what we have said is part of our system, what is legal, what is allowed, and just making sure that any of these sloppy designs making it through to final level are thought about. I'm not going to name any names, name any sets in particular, but I'm concerned that as we end up with a new designer roster coming through, that some of our sets maybe aren't quite hitting the mark like they should be, as in solid concepts, solid price points, but the execution just being a little messy, perhaps lacking a final pass. Or is this the rise of digital building, like leaving its mark on the company's design strategy? And lastly, and very least importantly, please cut Speed Champion's mold budget. The wedge family is out of control. They need to stop being allowed to make more wedges. That will be all. Thank you very much for listening. Leave your thoughts down below. What did I say controversially, or what would you agree with? Let me know your picks for most wanted as well. And I will see you all again in the next video, which will be a custom set from Wave 8. See you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.